Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sacha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vatam Sacha Om Ajnanathmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Abhishta Shapurakam Guru Ganarashisha Sambhushitam Chinta Chinta Samasta Vedanipunam Shri Rupa Panthanugam Govindabhidam Ujjalam Vartanam Bhaktianvitam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Guruncha Divya Bhagavat Premno Hivijapradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandravadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandranandapuram Sadekavarnam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhaktilasitam Sarassatanambaram Vandetam Shubhadam Madeka Sharanam Nasiswaram Sridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye Bhata Bhanuriva Prabhat Gagne Gaura Sankirtanaye Mayavadati Mangalodharagatan Udhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdiga Sukham Pradata Prabhum Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gaurang Hripadma Brangaya Radha Bhav Nishevine Vande Bhaktivinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidam Gaura Vrajashita Shaira Vaishnavaira Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhum Vande Premabdham Radha Vaishnavam Vancha Kalpataru Bhaischa Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurattashe Namah Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, serving at the lotus feet of Param Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. Hardik Namaskar and welcome to all friends, well-wishers and seekers. I have my panelists and guests, so let me bring them on. Dandat Pranam, Shripat Chinmayadev Prabhu, welcome.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Namaskar and welcome, Anilji.
Hare Krishna.
So we are reading and following the Golden Volcano of Divine Love, and we have completed Shikshashtakam verse number 5, and then we skipped back to verse number 3 to lay a little more stress and get a perspective of Srila Sachidānanda Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur. So last time we read about some portion of it, and in this reading we'll try and complete that. I want to mention that we are having the Sangha by the blessing of our guardian here in Sokalpuri, Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj, and we are trying to be at the lotus feet of Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju, trying to be of some service to the servitors. So the verse that Srila Sachidānanda Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur is talking about is the famous verse Srila Gurudev emphasized, Tranadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So I'll just like to repeat, for the sake of continuity, the four main qualities that Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur mentions here right from the outset, and then he talks about them at length. So this is Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur. Four very special qualities: a natural meekness and humility because of total detachment from matter, pure compassion unencumbered by envy, a spotless heart free from mundane, false prestige, and a proper respectful attitude towards everyone. So these were the four, pause here, these were the four qualities that Sachidānand Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur talked about. And then we pick up from where we left off, where he summarized that this shloka, Tranadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna, was composed for the sole reason of clearly establishing how to avoid namaparad and namabhas in chanting. Pause here. So this is where we left off last session, and then we're going to pick it up now. One whose intelligence avoids Krishna and rushes headlong after the intoxication of material enjoyment can never perceive his true position as but an infinitesimal spark of consciousness. One who thinks he is the enjoyer can never admit his insignificance. Nor is he tolerant by nature. He'll not like to give up his false ego and false prestige. A gross sense enjoyer is thoroughly unwilling and incapable of ungrudgingly offering respect to another enjoyer like himself. It is the materialist's habit to be insincere in his dealings with others to the point of being obnoxious. But the Vaishnava, who actually finds ecstasy in the holy name, is more humble than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. He is unconcerned and even unwilling to receive respect, but eager to offer respect to others. Only such an elevated soul is awarded constant association of the holy name in Kirtan. When these pure souls offer glorification and obeisance to the spiritual master and other senior Vaishnavas, they do so because of their quality of manada, respecting others. When they advise and enthuse disciples and sadhakas about the process of chanting, showering them with appreciative and even laudatory words spoken in great affection, their quality of amani, expecting no respect, is revealed. Such a person always behaves in accord with the position of his elevated status. Therefore, he is tolerant of the anger and dismay of the fools who resent his prominence. In this way, he exhibits deep forbearance. The offenseless chanter sees himself as lower than the straw in the street that is trampled by the walking masses. Such a saintly soul never thinks, I am a Vaishnava, or I am a Guru. Indeed, he always thinks himself a disciple of everyone, most meek and fallen, knowing every atom and every infinitesimal spirit soul to be the residence of Lord Krishna. He never treats anyone as inferior to him, nor does he require anything from anyone in this world. Even if others are envious and spiteful to him, he never retaliates. On the contrary, he prays for his tormentors' well-being. I'll pause here. This is extreme. And what comes to my mind as an example, there may be others, or Srila Haridas Ṭhākur. So Anilji, Srila Haridas Ṭhākur, he is our Namacharya. Sriman Mahaprabhu made him the Namacharya, incessantly chanting the holy name. And he was, you will be surprised to know, he was actually born in a Muslim family. And through the reformatory processes, he was brought back into the fold of Varnashram and then given this title by none other than Sri Chaitanya Dev. And as you know, at that time, Sharia law was prevalent in India, and he was beaten mercilessly and paraded, 21 or 22 marketplaces. And he each and every word here that Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur is saying is absolutely true in his case. He actually was cooperating with his tormentors. He himself never even tried to enter the premises of the Jagannath temple. He used to stand like far away and offer obeisances. I mean, the level of humility that he has shown is exemplary for everyone. So that's why we always give honor to Srila Haridas Ṭhākur, even in our Jayadhvani. So that is the personality of Srila Haridas Ṭhākur.
Prabhu, we can also mention that story where he's being beaten in the marketplaces. The people who were beating him were getting worried because they couldn't kill him. He wasn't dying, and he was supposed to die. And so for their sake, Haridas Prabhu, he died so that they would not be harmed. Or he showed that.
It's extreme. So that's humility for you and me. If we ever think that we're humble, at least I'm not. Hare Krishna. Yeah, and then as he says, he prays for his tormentors' well-being. So he was being beaten mercilessly, and he is actually cooperating with them and saying, "Oh, you want me to die? Okay, I'll die." Hare Krishna. Okay. Back to Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur. The perfect chanter of the holy name never deviates from the process he received from his spiritual master by introducing new methods by replacing the Mahamantra with some concocted and imaginary rhyme. A Vaishnava's humility is not to be questioned if he preaches widely the glories of the holy name by writing new books, as long as this is done strictly in accordance with the instructions of his spiritual master. But if one tries to trick people, making a show of humility only to gain the adoration of the masses, this is not accepted as true humility. So you realize, Anilji, so many people are out to trick other people. False show of humility and other tricks. They have their bag full of tricks. And here we are being warned that we should be careful and avoid such personalities. We have a guest here. Namaskar, Nahorji, welcome.
Hi, namaskar.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The pure chanter of the holy name never visualizes the exploitable form of enjoyable matter. Rather, he sees everything in this world as ingredients for the service of Lord Krishna and his associates and devotees. Enjoying this world is simply never considered. Remember, pause here. Remember that when we were talking about when Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur mentions that complete detachment from matter, because we have nothing whatsoever to do with matter. Constitutionally and fundamentally, we are completely different and higher than material energy. So because of that reason, where he is saying now here, enjoying this world is simply never considered. So it's not an imposition, an artificial imposition that I don't consider enjoying. Well, I have some propensity. Of course I do. Everyone does. But the true Vaishnava will not even consider that, because they are situated in their constitutional position as completely different. Back to Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur. Because the devotee takes the position of a submissive hearer and never considers disassociating himself from the Mahamantra he received from his spiritual master. Thus he is neither eager nor interested in propagating new ideas or opinions. One who regards himself to be the guru of any Vaishnava devotee rings humility's death knell. Just a pause here. This brings to my mind that incident where those Smarta Brahmins, at the time of Srila Saraswati Ṭhākur, when he was visiting Vrindavan, they were so eager to shower their blessings on our Prayojanacharya. Das Goswami, you remember that? They were saying, oh, let's bless him. So I think this is very apt in their case. But they're thinking that we can actually, because we are smart and we were born in such and such, so we can bless a Vaishnava of that caliber.
And Prabhu, I think also it's Raghunath Das Goswami who himself says, like, oh, I am, relying on the mercy of Brahmins, so they're taking it, they're not seeing it as a real Vaishnava is expressing his humility. They're seeing it as, oh, this person is giving us praise.
He actually wants blessings. The plain truth is, back to Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur, the plain truth is that he who does not heed Lord Chaitanya's instructions in his Shikshashtaka is doomed to pursue material gain with the sole intention of appeasing the senses at the cost of his real spiritual identity. Even if he is a spiritual master, he will simply hanker for recognition in that position. Such an offender can never chant the holy name. No matter how sincere and faithful his disciples may be, they will never become worthy of receiving and chanting the pure holy name if they hear his offensive chanting. Etan nirvidyamananam ichchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. O King, ceaseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord, following in the footsteps of the Mahajans, free from all doubts and fear, is certainly the path of success for all. Those free from all material desires, those who desire all sorts of material enjoyment, as well as those fully satisfied in pure transcendence. Very important. Free from, he says, free from doubts and fear. Fear is abhay. We sing that. Abhay Shripada Padme. Sharanilam. So when we surrender to the chanting of the holy name at the lotus feet of our Master, we are actually free of doubt and free from fear. Hallmark of true service and fearlessness. I had this doubt before coming to the lotus feet of Srila Govinda Maharaj, that what if I'm not being able to do this correct? What if I fail? Very apprehensive. And then one verse I heard from him, which kind of set things right. He was talking about that bhumo shkalit padanam bhumi reva avalambanam tvai jata paradhanam tameva sharanam prabhu. When I have surrendered to you, knowing the fact that you are all in all, everything belongs to you comprehensively and exclusively. There is none other. So, if I fall or if I fail in doing certain thing, where will I fall? I will still be in your dominion. So, bhumo skalit padanam, bhumi reva avalambanam. I will fall to the ground. As insignificant I am, what difference is it going to make? I will fall to the ground. And by the ground's help, I will get up and continue. That gave me a lot of strength. Not to be afraid. Because chanting, you're making so many mistakes. This, you're making so many things. Mind is like that. Mind is a product of matter. It's part of material energy. So we are bound to make all of these things, but if we are not fearless, then progress will be very slow. So first thing for progress is to initiate, which means actual surrender and, start. Initiation means start. Process has a trigger. Right, Anilji? Initiation is that trigger that you start. Am I right? Am I technically correct?
Yes, sir.
So that trigger in that entire process, which sets the process in motion, is the initiation. Then fearlessness, and then anartha nivritti, and all these other things, then they follow. But the first thing is initiation. And then trying to engage in meaningful service. Fearlessly. Fail, no problem. Again. Because where will I fall? To the ground? My only shelter is you, O Lord. Tvai jata paradhanam, tvamev sharanam prabhu. You are my only shelter. Where will I go? Okay. Back to Srila Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur. Idam shariram parinama pesalam patatya avasyam shatasandhi jarjaram kim aushadham prachasi moodha durmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. Mukundamala Stotra, verse number 37. This body of 100 joints must soon become decrepit and inevitably fall and fail. Its beauty only transient. O you deluded fool, why do you ask for medicine? Just drink the elixir of Krishna, the real and only infallible cure. Jai Śrīla Sachidānanda Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur ki jai. So, this is the real medicine. He is saying. Why do you ask for this medicine, that medicine, cure this, cure that? That one disease that we have, why don't you cure that, which is at the root of all the other diseases? Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur sings, E mana durmati, Prabhu he mana durmati. Because of this durmati, this mind, wicked mind, it has brought me to this word. Otherwise, we have nothing to do with this. Our separate sense of enjoyment has made us degrade ourselves to come in touch with matter. So we have already compromised our true nature to come here and be in touch with matter. Tava nija jana kono mahajane pathaiya dile tumi. And he says, then you may hear from some saint, we may hear from some saint like Gurudev, Param Guru Maharaj, Bhaktivinod Saraswati Ṭhākur, Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivinod Swami Prabhupada, or Śrīla Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur, Kono Mahajane, these Mahajans, and then by that, then it triggers our inner search to look inwards. Otherwise, there is really no hope for persons like myself. We are caught in this external world and we are just wanting to enjoy. Please go ahead.
And Prabhuji, just adding to that same thought, right? So because of this mind, right? And the extent of the delusion is that this mind is now forcing, okay, let me check which is the boundaries of this material world. Can I expand there? Can I go there and enjoy there also, right? So this dhara, right, that bhumi, this is not sufficient for that mind. They're trying to explore the things, right? Okay, let me go to the other side and see what is there, right? So basically, that desire is not going to be fulfilled, right? It is endless.
Ichha dvesha samuthena dandamohena bharata. Ichha dvesha samuthena dandamohena bharata. Sarva bhutani sammoham sargayanti parantapa. So when this separate interest enters that equilibrium, the tatastha region, then like a sprout, there is this forked, just like in a little sprout, there is this fork. You see, in a small sapling, you will always see like two, you can say stems coming out. Ichha and dvesh. Ichha is desire, and dvesh is repulsion. Out of our natural aversion to the universal interest. Then when this happens, then we become perfect candidate for duality. That's why we become sammohit. Sammohit means what? Sammohan, hypnotized. Sarva bhutani sammoham. And then we are caught in this world of duality, seeking pleasure but getting pain, and so many other dualities. And there is no end to that desire. There is no point where we can say it's desirelessness. Does not happen. We being a unit of consciousness, that never happens. We are always seeking happiness, pleasure. So the only way to get to our real spiritual identity is Sri Harinam. And for that, Tranadapi sunichena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadhari. Then we can do that. Otherwise, not possible. Then we will be making some sound, but no potency. Any comments? Any other observations? Nahurji, please.
Sure. I was just reading before your lecture. I was reading Nectar Instruction verse 2, where I think over there was mentioned the the mind tech, dangerous association of the mind, or I don't know how to describe it. Like basically, mind going toward worldly minded things or associating with those who are worldly minded, and how dangerous that can be to our devotional practice. So I guess my question is, in terms of daily sadhana, how important is it to maintain that daily practice in a way that we can really, have that nice bedrock foundation in order to grow our bhakti from?
Um, very fundamental and good question, and from I believe from someone who is truly practicing and wanting to practice and proceed on the path. So maybe you're mentioning in that verse the sangatyag, which is given sangatyagat satavrate. Maybe that part.
I think so. Yeah, it's the second verse. I think it's number 5 and number 6. So the fifth one is those. I'm reading from the ISKCON version online.
Utsahan nischayat dhairyat tat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat satavrate shadvir bhakti prasiddhati. Is that it?
Let me just double check. No, I think it's Atyahas
Atyahar
Prayascha
prayascha. Okay. Yes,
and then the second one, Jana Sangascha
Lolyam cha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The third
Vinashyati.
Jana Sangascha Loyam cha. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that sangha, like you're saying, association. First, I used to think that just avoid the people altogether, but that's not possible. Because then that would include myself also. Then who or what I would associate with, I don't know. So, looking at it from that perspective, we have to understand what association is. So association, for example, here all of us are together and we are opening up our minds and our hearts to each other, knowing that there is no other ulterior motive in this sangha. But that will not be the case if I go, let's say, on a business visit to some, let's say, prospective client, business client, or something like that. So then, should I just stay mum over there, or how should I conduct myself? So not opening up my mind, not opening up, Hari Katha, and simply being respectful to everyone, tolerating whatever comes my way, with the least exploitative effort, I will complete the transaction and move out. And then get back into the company of folks that I know are sadhu sangha or people I trust. So naturally, initially we are listening to a lot of forums, we are going here, we are going there, and eventually it's like an internal loop back system that we have because of our identity as conscious units that will kind of resonate like, okay, I found group number 1 and group number 5 to be the best. as far as my internal taste goes. And then you try to stick with those folks. So that's how you choose your company. That's how you choose your association. And avoid the rest without saying, that's a karmi, that's this, that's that. We don't want to do that. Does that make sense, Nahuji?
Yes, absolutely. That makes really good sense. And that's really important. The association of, if not just the people, but how to, yeah, that makes sense.
How you can, there are certain people or there is certain groups that you can be comfortable with, be yourself. That is good association. For each individual, it may be different.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that because this is good for me, this is the best. No, that's not the case. There's variety of different association that you can get. But your heart will tell you that here I am most comfortable.
Yes.
And so because of that loop back, you come once, you come twice, you go there, and then you will find, well, this vibrates with me the best. This frequency is the best for me to proceed. Tomorrow, and tomorrow it may change, that's how it is. But that is true association, and that is how one should associate.
Yeah, that's very good. That makes sense. And then in with that association, will help foster the sadhana and bhakti. Once obviously, we have to make that endeavor too.
It's sound culture. Once you get to that level of vibration, all these other things will start to manifest. You don't have to run after them. That is the key.
Okay.
So one is like, okay, let me go do this perfect. Let me go get item number 4 perfect. No. Our thing says you get your vibration perfect. Try to get that as perfect as possible at your given level, at your given instance. And once that happens, then it ripples out to all the other things, then they will start falling in place. Get to the root.
Yes. It makes sense. Yeah. Once you're sort of like coming home and being comfortable, or going to the office and being comfortable.
Now you're getting it. Yes. Jai
in that
Gurudev.
environment, then you can settle in with the rules and regulations, and
Those will come.
perfect.
You don't have to run after them. You don't have to get worried about like, oh, my mind and it's taking me different places. Guess what? That's its job.
Right.
So try to make your mind your friend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, but we have to try.
Yes, I understand.
So, because in Bhagavad Gita it says, Uddhared atma atmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmaiv hayatmano bandhur. Atmaiv ripuratmana. So it could be the best friend, it could be your best enemy, worst enemy. So, never trust your mind. Always to be in association means that when in good association, if mind says something which is not accurate or is completely off track, then there are various checks and balances that will come in, and then it'll be clarified. Okay, this was nothing, just some mental mushroom. So that's how we proceed.
Thank you so much, Shreya.
Jai Gurudev. Anything you want to add, Chinmoy Prabhu?
Well, in our Upadeshamrita, the one that we just recently published, he mentions, I think it's Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur, or it's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākur, mentions just what you said, that association, that good association, deals with the heart. It's a heart-to-heart transaction. And so who Rupa Goswami is saying we should have good association. What does that mean for him? Something that will develop our spiritual life. That is good association.
Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol. Anilji, do you feel, I hope me, Chinmay Prabhu, everyone else makes you feel comfortable and welcome? As you do, as you do when we come to your place, you and your family. We are blessed to have your association.
Yes, sir. Of course. That's why I keep on coming here.
Jai Gurudev.
The ultimate thing is that you both guys summarize, right? Basically, resonance, right? So that if that resonance, then you will be able to feel that vibration strength, right? There is nothing. There is one saying, right? In Hindi, I will try to translate in English. जो जानत है वो बोलत नहीं, जो ना जानत वही वो जो जानत है वो बोलत नहीं, जो ना जानत वो making noise. Basically, it says that the one who is aware of the truth, they always prefer to be silent, and then one who is just aware of the surface nature of the thing, they will make noise about it, right? So what that means to me now is if you feel it by heart, that resonance, right? It doesn't need any word, right? So that's what I think you guys are summarizing, right? And then, as it said is right, it is something which is, you are not, you don't have any candidature for it, right? It is something which is a mercy which should come to you.
Joy.
So you're not eligible for it. It is something you will just keep on saying that this is what I want to go in that direction, and by the mercy it will come to you. It is not an eligibility case, right?
Jai Gurudev. Anilji, thank you so much for summarizing that. Very wonderful. Hare Krishna. So what we will do now is, let me see. I have several of our, pardon my inability to follow persons on Facebook, my sincere Dandot Pranam to each and every one of you for your blessings and being tolerant of my continued offenses. Please continue to bless us. And Namaskar, Preeti ji, welcome.
No, Namaskar. No, you're not.
So we'll have Hari Harai. Let's see here. My troops are not here today. They're absconding. Okay, we have some help. All right. Okay. So give me a second and we will have Hari Harai and then we'll have Jai Dhwani by me, Anika ji. All right. Me.
भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Priyadaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath.
Ichai Gosai Kori Charana Vandan.
Echai Gosai Kari Charana Bandhan.
Jaha Hoite Vignana Shabishta Puran.
Jahate Vignana Shabishta Puran.
Ichai Gosai Jarmui Taradas.
Echai Gosai Jaramui Taradas.
Tasavara Pada Renu Mora Panchagras.
Tasavara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Tandera Charana Se Bhi Bhakta Sane Bas.
Tadera Charane Se Bhi Bhakta Sane Bas.
Jana me mora ei abhilash.
Janame Mora ei Abhilash.
Ichai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas.
Shai Gosai Jabe Braja Kailabas.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Anand Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anand Bala Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Padema Jayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Jayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kariyas.
Hari Naam Sankirtana Kohe Narottama Das.
Hari Naam Sankirtan Kahe Narottama Das.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai. Okay, Anika ji.
Jai Saprika Shri Shri Guru Granga Gandhavar Govinda Sundar Giridhari Gopilaju Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Patmam Shah Paravarshak Radhavari Astasada Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Patmam Shah Paravarshak Radhavari Astasada Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Patmam Shah Paravarshak Radhavari Astasada Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Sanatana Swasti Ṭhākur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Chola Gokshar Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Chola Chachi Nam Ananda Bhaktivinod Ṭhākur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Chola Jagannath Das Babji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Upanu Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
Namachar Shola Haridas Ṭhākur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Shri Baladeva Vedibhushan Ki Jai. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shri Mandir Shri Nivachacharya Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Ṭhākur Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Saprasad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saprasad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Chamkunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Lakshmi Vardeva Ki Jai.
Jai.
To the Bhaktivinod Vinashaya Shri Nrsimha Deva Ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ganga Jamna Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Mantra Vishnu Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sabha Ki Jai.
Jai.
Apratma Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Tadya Sakumat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vishwa Chaitanya Swaswatmat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vishwa Kabir Tadya Sakumat Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shuddha Mayapur Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shuddha Nabad Ki Jai.
Jai.
Vrindavan Purushottam Dham Ki Jai.
Jai.
Baladeva Subhadra Jamna Ji Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Govinda Kunda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Shiva Gangra Jiu Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samveta Vaishnava Mandal Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samveta Bhaktivinod Ki Jai.
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitya Gopnande Hari Hari Bol.
हरी हरि बोल. जय सब परिकर श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जी की जय. जय. ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति सुंदर गोविंद देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय. ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जय. भगवान शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय. विश्वरेण्य शिला एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. जय. शिला सच्चिदानंद भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर की जय. जय. श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ आचार्य वृंद की जय. श्री चैतन्य सारस्वत मठ सन्यासी वृंद की जय। जय शिल भक्ति पवन जनार्दन महाराज की जय। जय शिल भक्ति निर्मल आचार्य महाराज की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। सपार्षद श्रीमन नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। सपार्षद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय। रूप अनुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। All the assembled devotees की जय। नित्याय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।